Melakim 2, 2 Kings chapter 1. And Moab revolted against Yisrael after the death of Ahav, and Ahaziah fell through the lattice of his upper room in Shamaron and was injured, and sent messengers and said to them, Go inquire of Baal-zebub, the mighty one of Ekron, if I shall recover from this injury. But a messenger of Yahuah spoke to Eliyah the Tishbite, Rise up, go up to meet the messengers of the sovereign of Shamaron, and say to them, Is it because there is no Elohim in Yisrael that you are going to inquire of Baal-zebub, the mighty one of Ekron? So therefore, thus said Yahuah, You are not going to get out of the bed to which you have gone up, for you shall certainly die. And Eliyah went, and the messengers returned to him, and he said to them, Why have you come back? And they said to him, A man came up to us and said to us, Go return to the sovereign who sent you, and say to him, Thus said Yahuah, Is it because there is no Elohim in Yisrael that you are sending to inquire of Baal-zebub, the mighty one of Ekron? Therefore you are not going to get out of the bed to which you have gone up, for you shall certainly die. And he said to them, What was the man like who came up to meet you and spoke to you these words? And they answered him, He was a hairy man and wore a leather girdle around his waist. And he said, It is Eliyah the Tishbite. He then sent to him a captain of 50 with his 50 men, and he went up to him, and see, he was sitting on the top of a hill, and he spoke to him, Man of Elohim, the sovereign has said, Come down. And Eliyahu answered and said to the captain of 50, And if I am a man of Elohim, let fire come down from the Shamayim and consume you and your 50 men. And fire came down from the Shamayim and consumed him and his 50. He then sent another captain of 50 with his 50 men to him, and he answered and said to him, Man of Elohim, this is what the sovereign said, Come down at once. And Eliyah answered and said to them, If I am a man of Elohim, let fire come down from the Shamayim and consume you and your 50 men. And a fire of Elohim came down from the Shamayim and consumed him and his 50. And again he sent a third captain of 50 with his 50 men, and the third captain of 50 went up and came and fell on his knees before Eliyahu, and pleaded with him, and said to him, Man of Elohim, please let my life and the life of these 50 servants of yours be precious in your eyes. See, fire has come down from the Shamayim and burned up the first 2 captains of 50s with their 50s. But let my life be precious in your eyes. And the messenger of Yahuah said to Eliyahu, Go down with him. Do not be afraid of him. So he rose up and went down with him to the sovereign and spoke to him. Thus said Yahuah, Because you have sent messengers to inquire of Baal-zebub, the mighty one of Ekron, is it because there is no Elohim in Yisrael to inquire of his word? Therefore you are not going to get out of the bed to which you have gone up, for you shall certainly die. And he died according to the word of Yahuah which Eliyahu had spoken. And Yehoram reigned in his place in the 2nd year of Yehoram, son of Jehoshaphat, sovereign of Yehudah, for he had no son. And the rest of the acts of Ahaziahu which he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Yisrael? Melakim 2, 2 Kings chapter 2. And it came to be when Yahuah was to take up Eliyahu to the Shamayim by whirlwind, that Eliyahu went with Elisha from Gilgal. And Eliyahu said to Elisha, Please remain here, for Yahuah has sent me on to Bethel. And Elisha said, As Yahuah lives, and as your being lives, I do not leave you. And they went down to Bethel. And the sons of the Neviim who were at Bethel came out to Elisha and said to him, Do you know that Yahuah is taking away your master from your head? And he said, I also know, be silent. And Eliyahu said to him, Elisha, please remain here, for Yahuah has sent me on to Jericho. And he said, As Yahuah lives and as your being lives, I do not leave you. And they came into Jericho, and the sons of the Neviim who were at Jericho came to Elisha and said to him, Do you know that Yahuah is taking away your master from over you today? And he said, I also know, be silent. And Eliyahu said to him, Please remain here, for Yahuah has sent me on to the Adon. And he said, As Yahuah lives and as your being lives, I do not leave you. And the two of them went on, and 50 men of the sons of the Neviim went and stood facing them at a distance, while the two of them stood by the Adon. And Eliyahu took his mantle and rolled it up and struck the water. And it was divided this way and that, so that the two of them passed over on dry ground. And it came to be, when they had passed over, that Eliyahu said to Elisha, Ask what I am to do for you before I am taken away from you. And Elisha said, Please let a double portion of your spirit be upon me. And he said, You have made it hard to ask, yet if you see me when I am taken from you, it is yours, but if not, it is not. And it came to be, as they continued on and spoke, that see, a chariot of fire with horses of fire which separated the two of them. And Eliyahu went up by a whirlwind into the Shamayim. And Elisha saw it, and he cried out, my father, the chariot of Yisrael and its horsemen. And he saw him no more. Then he took hold of his own garments and tore them into 2 pieces. And he took up the mantle of Eliyahu that had fallen from him, and went back and stood by the bank of the Adon. And he took the mantle of Eliyahu that had fallen from him, and struck the water, and said, Where is Yahuah, Elohim of Eliyahu? And he struck the water, and it was divided this way and that, and Elisha passed over. And when the sons of the Neviim who were from Jericho saw him, they said, The spirit of Eliyahu rests on Elisha. And they came to meet him and bowed to the ground before him. And they said to him, Look, there are 50 strong men with your servants. Please let them go and search for your master, lest the Ruach of Yahuah has taken him up and cast him upon some mountain or into some valley. And he said, Send no one. But they pressed upon him till he was ashamed, and he said, Send. So they sent 50 men, and they searched for 3 days, but did not find him. And they returned to him, for he remained in Jericho. And he said to them, Did I not say to you, Do not go? And the men of the city said to Elisha, Look, the site of this city is good, as my master sees, but the waters are spoilt, and the land barren. And he said, Bring me a new bowl, and put salt in it. And they brought it to him, and he went out to the source of the water, and threw salt in there, and said, Thus said Yahuah, I have healed this water. No longer shall death or barrenness come from it. And the waters were healed to this day, according to the word of Elisha which he spoke. And he went up from there to Bethel. And as he was going up the way, some youths came from the city and mocked him and said to him, Go up, bald head! Go up, bald head! And he turned around and looked at them and pronounced a curse on them in the name of Yahuah. And 2 female bears came out of the forest and tore to pieces 42 of the youths. And from there he went to Mount Carmel. And from there he returned to Shamaron.